Your bank account still works. Your credit card still works. The ATM still gives you cash. Everything looks fine. But in the last week of March 2026, something happened at the Strait of Hormuz that no financial anchor on television has fully explained to you. Iran started charging ships a toll to pass through the world's most important waterway. Not in dollars, in Yuan. And the petrodollar system, the invisible architecture that has kept America powerful since 1974, cracked. Before this video ends, you're going to understand why $39 trillion in debt is only dangerous when the world stops believing in you, and why the most important question right now isn't, will the dollar collapse? It's, how long does it take for people to notice when it does? Most people have never heard the word petrodollar, but it has shaped every price you've ever paid, every job that ever existed, every war America ever fought. Here's the short version. In 1974, President Nixon made a secret deal with Saudi Arabia. Simple terms, Saudi Arabia would price all oil sales in US dollars only. No other currency, no exceptions. In return, America would protect the Saudi regime. Military protection. Weapons, guarantees. Saudi Arabia agreed. Then the rest of OPEC followed. And just like that, every country on Earth that needed oil needed dollars first. That created permanent global demand for the dollar. It's why America could print money without destroying its value. It's why the US could run massive deficits without consequence. It's why the dollar became, and stayed, the world's reserve currency. Not because it was the strongest economy, because it controlled the price of energy. That was the real power, not aircraft carriers. The dollar. For 50 years, the system held. Every oil transaction on the planet went through dollars. Countries bought dollars to buy oil. Oil exporters stored dollars in U.S. Treasury bonds. That money funded American spending. American spending funded American power. A perfect loop. A machine that printed influence. But machines break, especially when you weaponize them. In 2022, the U.S. froze $300 billion in Russian foreign exchange reserves. Overnight, with a phone call, no trial, no vote, no warning. Just gone. And every country watching that moment asked the same question. If they can do that to Russia, can they do that to us? China asked. India asked. Saudi Arabia asked. Brazil asked. And the answer was obvious. Yes, they can. That was the moment de-dollarization stopped being a theory. It became a survival strategy. Fast forward to March 2026. Iran, at war with the US and Israel since February 28th, controls the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil passes through that strait every single day. 20 million barrels. Every single day. And Tehran made an announcement that Deutsche Bank called one of the most consequential financial propositions in the post-Bretton Woods era. Ships wanting to pass through Hormuz must pay the toll. In yuan, not dollars. Yuan. For the first time in 50 years, a critical choke point of global energy trade is denominated in a currency that is not American. Let that land. And it doesn't stop there. Indian refiners are settling Russian crude purchases in yuan and UAE dirhams, bypassing the dollar entirely. Confirmed by Bloomberg. BRICS, now an 11-nation bloc, controls 45% of the world's population and 40% of global GDP. They are building M-Bridge, an alternative cross-border payment system specifically designed to settle trade. Without SWIFT. Without dollars. Without American oversight. The system isn't coming. It's already being used. Now, let's talk about what this means for you. The U.S. national debt just crossed $39 trillion. It took America 200 years to reach $1 trillion in debt. It took 5 months to add the last trillion. 5 months. Budget watchdogs testified before Congress this week. Maya McGuineas, president of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, said, "There is no silver lining in this trajectory." The deficit to GDP ratio sits at 6%. The sustainable target is 3%. America is spending twice what it should. Every single day, the U.S. pays $1 billion just in interest on that debt, not principal, not programs, not military, just interest. Here's the machine that makes this work. The world buys U.S. Treasury bonds. That demand keeps interest rates manageable. That keeps the debt from exploding. But the world only buys Treasury bonds if it believes the dollar will hold its value. And the dollar only holds its value if the world needs it to buy oil. You see where this is going. If Iran's Yuan toll at Hormuz holds, if BRICS's alternative payment system scales, if more oil trades bypass the dollar, foreign governments stop accumulating dollars. They start selling Treasury bonds instead of buying them. Interest rates rise. $39 trillion in debt suddenly costs hundreds of billions more per year. That money has to come from somewhere. It comes from cutting services. It comes from printing more money. It comes from inflation. It comes from your grocery bill, your rent, your savings account, which buys less every single year. The dollar doesn't die in an explosion. It dies in 1,000 small price increases. That you're already feeling. But here's the part that keeps analysts up at night. Saudi Arabia, the country that started the petrodollar in 1974. In 2023, they joined BRICS. Let that sink in. The country that Badersi built the petrodollar system is now a member of the bloc trying to replace it. And in 2026, Saudi Arabia has already settled some oil trades with China. In Yuan. Brief. Not officially announcing an end to the petrodollar. Just quietly, transactionally, testing. Because in geopolitics, you never announce the revolution, you just start making different phone calls. Let's be precise about what's happening. The dollar is not collapsing today. It still represents 58% of global foreign exchange reserves. The yuan is at 2.3%. This is not a replacement, not yet. But direction matters more than position. In 2001, the dollar was at 73% of reserves. Today, it's 58%. That's 15 percentage points lost in 25 years. And the pace is accelerating. Every sanction America uses as a weapon pushes another country to build the exit. Every time the U.S. freezes assets, another central bank quietly diversifies. Every yuan toll at Hormuz normalizes the idea that oil doesn't need dollars. This is how reserve currencies die. Not with a crash, with a slow migration, country by country, transaction by transaction. Until one day, the number isn't 58%, it's 40%, then 30%, and at some point between here and there, the debt machine breaks. 2 roads from here. Road 1. The Iran war ends quickly. Hormuz reopens. Yuan tolls disappear. BRICS payment systems stay small and fragmented. The dollar stabilizes. The petrodollar survives, damaged but intact. America buys more time. But the debt keeps growing. The deficit stays at 6%. The structural problem doesn't go away. Time is bought, not solved. Road 2. The Iran war drags on. Yuan tolls at Hormuz become standard. Saudi Arabia settles more oil in yuan, quietly, than officially. BRICS bridge reaches critical mass. Foreign central banks start reducing treasury holdings. Interest rates spike. The U.S. faces a choice no empire has ever survived comfortably. Print money or cut everything. Print money, and inflation destroys the middle class. Cut everything, and the social contract breaks. Either road leads to the same place, a country that spent 50 years living on borrowed credibility, being asked to pay the bill. Here's what this actually is. The petrodollar wasn't just a financial arrangement, it was the reason America could do everything it did. Fight wars without raising taxes. Build a military that dwarfs every other nation combined. Run deficits that would bankrupt any other country. Sanction enemies into submission. All of it rested on one invisible foundation. The world needs dollars to buy energy. And that foundation is being chipped away. Not with missiles, with Yuan, with payment systems, with quiet phone calls between finance ministers, with tankers paying tolls in a currency Washington doesn't control. The machine still runs. But listen closely. You can hear it. $39 trillion in debt. $1 billion in interest every day. Iran charging Yuan at the world's most critical choke point. Saudi Arabia, the country that built the petrodollar, now inside BRICS. And your bank account still works. The ATM still gives you cash. Everything still looks fine. That's exactly how it looked the day before every financial crisis in history. Not broken, just very quietly running out of time.